A little bit. The
All right.
diciest part.
Looks like we're recording, so we're good to go.
Fantastic. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Know Before You Go for TrustCon 2026. It is our fifth TrustCon, and we are so excited to be welcoming you to San Francisco in less than a month, let me tell you, in just a few short weeks. My name is Charlotte Wilner. I'm Executive Director of the Trust and Safety Professional Association, TSPA, and we are the organization who hosts TrustCon. TrustCon is our biggest annual conference. It's something that the whole community puts a lot of work into every year, and we're just excited to have you, whether you have been to TrustCon all 5 years, whether this is your first time. This is a great opportunity to ask any questions that you might have about your experience. And we're going to share all of the FAQs that we're aware of to this point in the course of this webinar. With me is the team, and if we go to the next slide, I think we're going to get to see who they are. Yes. So I'm going to give you an advantage here. Every year, I do a little pop quiz in the opening plenary about how big the TSPA team is. And if you've been on this call or are watching it later, you will know the answer to that is six people. So TSPA, the entire team is six people, and all six of us are working on TrustCon. You're going to get to meet all of these folks, I hope, on site, and you're going to be hearing from them in the course of this call. We'll all be wearing orange lanyards when you get there, so please do stop and say hello. We know all of your names because we keep working on the reg list, so we will be excited to have a chat. Um, I think we can go to the next slide here as well. All right. This is what we're going to be covering in the call today. We're going to do hotel and logistics. We're going to talk about the app. Everyone's got a question about the app. We will cover those questions. We're going to walk you through how do you do registration? Where do you pick up your badge? If you haven't registered yet, how do you manage that? If you're having problems with that, what do you do? We're going to talk about programs. We're talking about all the different sessions that are available to you, different types of sessions. We're going to talk about the socializing and networking piece of TrustCon. A lot of what TrustCon is really for is to help you build your professional network. And so we'll be spending some time on that. We do have fresh merch this year, so we'll be giving you a little peek at that. There's just some general tips and reminders. And then finally, we got Q&A time, and that's really what we encourage you to use this time for. There is no such thing as a dumb question. We want you to ask that question now so you don't feel like, hey, I really don't know this thing, and it's kind of basic, I think, when you show up at TrustCon. We are here for you. Um, and I'll just say before I hand it off to the team, again, TrustCon is really, we feel in a lot of ways, the gift that the community gives to itself every year. It is highly community driven. We could not do this without the folks who are volunteering, the folks who are speaking, and the folks who are attending. Before TrustCon, we didn't really have a conference for our class of professional. We didn't have a place just for trust and safety professionals, and it's just really a joy every year to be able to produce this event for you all. So, with that, I will hand it off. We're going to talk about the hotel.
All right. Thank you, Charlotte. I am Crystal Berry. I am the Events and Communications Manager here at TSPA. I'll talk a little bit about the venue information. So, the TrustCon venue itself, Hyatt Regency San Francisco. So, there are two Hyatts within walking distance of each other, and every year we get at least one person who goes to the other one. So, just want to reiterate that this particular Hyatt is in the Embarcadero Center and it's right across from the Ferry Building. We are currently at the room block is full at the Hyatt. So if you haven't already gotten your room, we suggest there are others affordable hotels within walking distance of the Hyatt Regency. So we suggest like looking through reviews on Expedia and other comparable sites first before booking. Some other things to expect are our meals. So breakfast will be provided more like a continental breakfast, and we will have a full lunch for all 3 days of the conference. And we will also have our opening night reception on Monday, which will have heartier appetizers and of course drinks. And last but not least, we will have some sponsored breaks throughout the event. So there will be a few like snack options as well. And lastly, I'll talk a little bit about the facilities we'll have at the conference. So the lactation room will be on the Seacliff level, and this room will have dividers with some comfy chairs, and we'll also have some supplies available in the room. Next, we have the prayer room, which will be sort of like an office, also on the bay level. We will have some supplies as well there, prayer mats, and we also have some like compasses as well for folks who use those. Our wellness room, that'll be on the atrium level in Garden B. And this is a fun room. We'll have yoga mats, bean bags, crafts. And this is a space where, kind of like a quiet space where you can kind of relax throughout the conference. I know there's a lot of information, a lot to take in. So this is just more of a quiet space for everyone to use. Next will be the recharge room, which will be beside the wellness room in Garden A. And these will have tables arranged in the room with power strips and cords so that you can literally recharge your laptops or devices, and also take a moment to work if you need to. But that will also be a quiet space. Also, throughout the event, which is really fun, we have our privacy pods, and these will be on the second level in the baby foyers and the Seacliff foyers. And these pods are kind of like private pods where you can maybe 1 to 2 people, some up to three people can fit into the pods. It has a table, it has a monitor, and you can use it as either a private space to do some work, or you can use it as like a small meeting space for quick meetings throughout the conference. And just a note on the privacy pods, we ask that you keep your use to around 30 minutes per session. Last but not least, we'll also have meeting rooms on the atrium level, and you can sign up for 30-minute time blocks throughout the conference. Thank you, Maggie. And then some commonly asked questions. We do get a lot of questions about the app launch. That will happen the week before the conference. You'll get an email probably on July 13th with instructions on how to download the app. For folks who may be using company phones and aren't able to download the app, you'll also have access to the website, and it'll have the same information as the app. So we'll send that out to you. Something that's important to note is that the app has the attendee list. And so you are able, if you don't want to be contacted throughout in the app, you are able to toggle your visibility in the app off. And it doesn't change the how you use the app whatsoever. We'll send information on that because privacy is very important to us. And in the app, as mentioned, the attendee list will be there, the agenda itself, all of the breaks that we have, the receptions, everything will be in the program. Also, we'll have maps of the space. This where we're situated is across 4 different floors. So it feels like a lot of rooms, and you'll get acquainted with it very quickly, but we'll also have maps of the space in the app. And then we'll also do some push notifications. I'll try not to be too annoying, but mainly just to give you an idea of all of the events that are happening, and just like the timings and things like that. You may receive some notifications throughout the conference. And lastly, we also will receive, we'll send notifications about the survey as well, because we definitely want to hear your feedback.
All right. Over to you, Ilea.
Thank you so much. All right, I will be going over registration. Registration is my part in TrustCon. So as you may be aware, registration is now open for TrustCon. We do have various discounts that are available at checkout. So those are applied intuitively throughout the form. So as you input your information throughout your registration, at the end on the payment page, a discount code will be automatically applied to your registration unless TSPA has given you a specific one, and that is where you will be entering in that discount code at that time. Just so everyone is aware, all of our financial assistance has been allocated for this event. So if anyone needs additional assistance, what we are able to provide are the discounts that are offered, excuse me, through the registration. All of this information can be found on our registration information page on the TrustCon website. So it gives it just a little bit easier for you to be aware of what all the things we are able to offer. For the different deadlines for TrustCon, registration closes on July 8th, and that is a fast and final registration close date. We are not doing any holds. We're not doing any wait list this year. So please make sure if any one of your colleagues would like to attend TrustCon, make sure that they are registered by July 8th. Because of this, we are extending out our transfer and refund deadline. So up until July 8th, we are offering transfers for everyone, and then refunds will have a $100 administration fee. After July 8th up until July 15th, that is when we are going to be doing a $500 cancellation fees just to cover the cost that would be occurred based off of the attendees that were going to be attending the event. And transfers are fully allowed up until that date. One note about transfers is we are only doing registration type to registration type. So if you registered as a non-member, we are only able to then transfer over your registration to a non-member, member to member, speaker to speaker, things like that. So if you need to transfer to somebody outside of that, unfortunately, you will need to cancel and that other person would need to register. But again, they need to register by July 8th. Information about all of this is also located on the registration information page. Next, I can go over on-site registration for our badge pickup. So at actually TrustCon, where you're going to pick up your badge is going to be in the Market Street foyer. The times of that are going to be on Sunday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's kind of our pre-registration. I really recommend if you are able to pick up your registration from 3 to 5. This is going to be the fastest, easiest time for you to pick up your registration. You can then attend the event the next day, sleep in a little bit, don't have to come in as early to pick up your badge. So that would be the best time for you to come pick it up. We are opening registration a little bit earlier on Monday than the other days, just to allow for folks to get their badges and then go ahead and get their breakfast and get ready for the event. So that's going to be from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Monday. And then on Tuesday, it'll be from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then on Wednesday, it'll be from 8 a.m. until about 4 p.m., which is essentially our last session. On your name badge, I just want to note it's going to be your full name, your company, and your pronouns. And I note this because what you enter into your registration is what we print onto your name badge. So if you need to change that or you want to check to make sure that you've put the correct information, go ahead and check your confirmation email. There's going to be a section on that allows you to modify your name badge and modify your registration to make sure it is saying what you needed to say. So go ahead and get that done by July 8th so we make sure that your name badge is accurate. If there's something on site that is incorrect and you would like to change it, we can absolutely change that on site as well. And how you pick up your name badge is by last name, and we'll have two different lines. So we'll have last name for all general attendees, and then also speakers are going to have their own section to pick up their name badge. One thing I will say about name badges is every year, and especially this year, wearing a name badge is very important. Just so you know that TrustCon spaces are just for TrustCon attendees. So only those who are registered are able to attend or enter any of the TrustCon spaces. So we will have checkpoints along that. So you have to have your name badge. And it's to the benefit of you all. We want to make sure that everyone who is attending and anyone that is in those spaces, we have said that can be in those spaces. So just making sure that you bring your badge every single day. It is important, and making sure that even if you were to leave it, just let us know at the front desk so we can make sure that we can print you another one if you need. And also, just FYI, swapping of badges actually violates TSBA's code of conduct that everyone has agreed to while registering. So I just want to flag that as well. When you pick up your name badge, you're going to also get a lanyard, and we have lanyard colors that mean different things. One of them is going to be blue for all of our attendees. Blue means that you are okay with your photo being posted. And we can't guarantee that no one will take your photo while at the event, but is an indication that you are okay with it, versus red, that if you are not okay with your photo being posted, that is an alert to folks letting them know that we would not like your face in any of the photos. So there's no pressure to choose red or blue lanyards. You can also change your mind if you need to. So just come to down to registration on the ground level, and we can swap that out for you. The other lanyards for your name badges are going to be orange. That's an indication that the person is staff or volunteers. So that's going to be a person that would be able to assist you throughout the event. We also have a select number of press attending the event, and they're going to be identified by yellow lanyards. So that's kind of your alert of who is a member of press. And just so you know, around the event, we're also going to have official photographer and videographer. So you will see that set up as well. And they are also aware that anyone that is wearing the various colors of their lanyards are okay with different photos and videos being taken.
I just want to give a shout out to Ilea, who every year goes through our badge names before TrustCon and attempts to do things like capitalize where there probably should be a capital and like normalize things. It would be great if you could make her life a bit easier and check your registration to see if your name and your title are spelled correctly, if there are like issues anywhere, if anything isn't the way that you wanted it now, so that she doesn't have to do quite as much work on that. I think Christy also usually helps her with that. So please make Ilea and Christy's life easier. Double check your registration to see if it looks the way that you want it to look. And if it is misspelled, you can get it corrected, but just know we're taking it from your registration. I'm guilty of making typos in my own name. So my maiden name is Cook, and I sometimes have spelled it cool. So, uh, you know,
Thank you
it
for that,
is what
Meg.
it is.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, agenda, onto the agenda. One exciting part of the day. So, um, agenda overwhelm is real, and I just want to talk about this a little bit as someone who has attended other conferences as an attendee. I feel this at most of the conferences that I attend. There's so many sessions, all of them look interesting. You can't attend everything, and your energy is limited. So, I would recommend digesting the agenda kind of over time. My strategy is first use filters. So there's filters on the agenda on the left-hand side, and you can filter by type of session, location. There's a bunch of different tags for our different tracks. And then, of course, you can look up specific speakers. There's also tags for if a session is no press and also TSBA members only. So you can look at those if you're interested in one or the other. So I would go through early and look at what sessions you might be interested in. You can build your agenda in the app. So I actually got a question here in the box about whether this year the app would prevent you from scheduling overlapping sessions, because I know that was a bit of a pain point last year. This year you can schedule sessions that are overlapping except for workshops and roundtables. So you won't be able to schedule two workshops and roundtables or roundtables that happen at the same time. Otherwise, you can like reserve sessions within the app that do conflict with each other. I do want to emphasize adding it to your agenda does not mean you registered for that session if it is anything other than a workshop and roundtable. So workshops and roundtables do require registration, which I'll talk about in the next slide. Everything else, you can add it to your agenda and you're like bookmarking it basically, but you're not like registering for a spot. Everything is first come, first serve. And so you can kind of make a short list for yourself in the app. That way you're not looking at the entire agenda all the time and you feel a little bit less overwhelmed. And then the other thing I recommend, especially if you're a new attendee, if you've attended TrustCon in the past, you're a little bit more used to like the flow, but it can get overwhelming. And so I would recommend kind of evaluating your plan at the end of each day like, did you get what you needed from this day? Do you want to reevaluate what you're thinking about attending tomorrow? And just don't stress too much if you're caught up in conversation, you're networking, you're having a great time, and you missed a session that you originally planned on attending. That kind of stuff happens all the time at TrustCon. It's one of the things that is delightful about TrustCon. So make a plan, but I would recommend going in with some flexibility as well. How sessions work. So a vast majority of our sessions, a little over 120, are first come, first serve. So if you are like, this is the reason that I'm coming to TrustCon, this is my top priority, I will be very upset if I can't go to this session. Get there early for those first come, first serve sessions, and make sure that you get a spot by showing up early. Some popular sessions fill up fast, so make sure to set an alarm on your phone or something to make sure that you get there. Presentations happen back to back, so the panels are 50 minutes and they take up one session. Presentations are actually 2 presentations within a session, so it's a 50-minute time block. There'll be the first presenter goes, and then right away the second presenter goes. And so those are fun sessions to go to because they're like a pair that you get to go to. And one other thing I wanted to note is session preferences. So you'll see session preferences both in the description and within tags for different sessions. And I wanted to just share a little bit about what they mean. So press is whether press is allowed to attend a session. Chatham House rule, probably a lot of people know what this means, but the TLDR on what this means is you're allowed to go, you're allowed to discuss what you learned in the session, but you're not allowed to attribute it back to the person who was speaking or anyone who's in that session. A lot of roundtables have this set up as a session preference, so to allow people to speak a bit more freely. Photography is about whether you're allowed to take photos within the session. Same with social media. Are you allowed to post on social media, quote the speaker, post photos, things like that? And then our setting on TSPA members is if you are required to be a TSPA member in order to attend a session. If a session has that preference, the person who is at the door will check your badge and you'll have a little indicator that you're a TSPA member. So please be patient with our folks who are checking members in. And then just a note that there are a few closed door sessions on day 3, on the morning of day 3. And so those are happening in a separate track. Okay. I got a question about workshops and roundtable, so I wanted to cover that here. Workshops and roundtable registration are live. This year, you may select up to 3 sessions that do not happen at the same time as each other while we have capacity within those sessions. Somebody mentioned that they missed the window for signing up for workshops and roundtables and asked if there's anything they can do. There's actually capacity in over half of our workshops and roundtables right now, so you still have plenty to pick from. If there are sessions that you're hoping to go to that are at capacity, I would recommend joining the waitlist, which I'll talk about in a second. This information is on the TrustCon website, so if you want to refer back to it later, we're going to post this recording, but also you can go to the website, just trustcon.net, and there is a tab that says Workshops and Roundtable information with exact instructions about how to sign up for workshops and roundtables. Once the app goes live, you will also be able to modify your selections within the app. So you'll be able to do that with a separate set of instructions. I have these here, but I will also post these on the website once the app is live. If you are like, man, I really wanted to go to this session, was a popular one, it filled up fast. Waitlists are open now, so I would recommend joining the waitlist. We have waitlists that we use up until TrustCon. So up until the weekend of TrustCon, join a waitlist. If somebody drops that session, the next person in line is given the opportunity to sign up. You will receive an email if that is the case, and you'll have 48 hours to take that registration spot before TrustCon. Or up until TrustCon, you could get a notification that you can join a session because somebody dropped. Once we are on site, we use a no-show line. So at TrustCon, we stop using waitlists and instead we use a no-show line. How that works is you, as a registry attendee, have until 5 minutes past the session start to attend that session. If you are more than 5 minutes late, we will, in fact, give your spot away to somebody who is waiting in the no show line if there is somebody in the no show line. So, if you are really excited about a session and you're really bummed that you missed out, I would recommend showing up early to wait in that no show line because we typically do have at least a few no shows. I can't promise that. Maybe this year we'll have a couple of sessions that somehow every single person who registered will show up and there'll be no opportunity to use the no show line. But I don't think that's happened yet. So I would recommend showing up, going to the no show line if something is like definitely your top priority and you missed out, and you can potentially get in that way. All right. Christy, do you want to talk about networking?
Yes, I do. Hello, everyone. I'm Christy Kozak, a senior program manager here at TSPA, and I am what seems like your camp counselor at TrustCon. I'm in charge of all of the community activities and the different ways for you to meet people during the conference. So first, we're going to highlight some opportunities if you're wanting to meet new people at the conference and kind of more low pressure than a large gathering. These are like small groups or one-on-one opportunities. First, we have TrustCon Buddies. What this is a match program designed for new attendees, but it's also really great for anyone who's attending solo. A lot of people come with some team members or people that they know, but some people are coming by themselves and are looking for someone to connect with. We like this program because it just gives you a face in the crowd that you know and can kind of chat through your agenda, and it's just nice to have someone you know there. So this is best for people who are coming solo or new. Buddies usually meet for breakfast or lunch. We have you sign up via this QR code here. It's also linked in the community hub on our website. Sign up before July 10th and we'll pair you with someone, and then it's up to you to sort of schedule time to meet up with each other. A lot of people, I think, meet for breakfast on the first day, but it's up to you both to sort of figure out when you want to meet each other. And people love this program, so we continue to bring it back. So if you want to participate in that, please sign up before July 10th. Next up is First Connections. This is a community activity that I tried to do a couple years ago, and things happened and it didn't go great, but we're bringing it back. I have a couple of community members who are being really thoughtful about how this is run and are doing it worlds better than I tried to do a couple of years ago. So First Connections is going to be small rotating groups that they're going to match based on shared interest, role, and experience level. This is for attendees who want to meet new people. Think of it a bit like speed dating, but obviously not dating because there's no romantic expectations. More so just a way to meet like quite a few people in a short time in a low pressure scenario. They are going to be matching based on what areas you work in and some of your interests. So we encourage you to sign up before July 13th, again, via this QR code, also on the website. But if you aren't able to sign up in advance, feel free to just head down and join in. I've told them to be agile because some people will come, some people won't. But this is happening at breakfast on the very first day. So if you're showing up and you're really excited for the week and want to start chatting with new people, it's a great place to go. So encourage you to sign up for that. And then the last sort of one-on-one thing we have is Coffee Chats. So Coffee Chats is a program that we run throughout the year via our website, but we do in-person coffee chats at TrustCon. And this is light mentorship with very experienced practitioners. This is really great for if you're having a specific question that you want to work through, or if you're looking for career advice, really just any type of mentorship for someone who's worked in trust and safety for quite a long time. This will be a 10 to 15 minute chat. And it's first come, first serve. So I'll have sign up sheets for the different hosts and you'll be able to sign up for a slot. So I have having that a few different times throughout the conference. So keep an eye out for that. All this is on the agenda and the attendee hub. I do see a question about First Connections only being on Monday. It is only on Monday this year. It's really kind of a kickoff networking opportunity. But if it's successful this year, maybe we'll do it a couple times in the future if the people hosting it are willing to do that. So these are all great opportunities. And then we also have, Maggie, if you could go to the next slide, a couple of other activities happening that are a little bit more specific around interest areas and are a little bit larger. They're not huge, but like larger networking opportunities. So on the community activities side, we've got quite a few different things happening. I feel like there's a little something for everyone. So on Wednesday, we have Vibe Coders Anonymous, which is going to be an hour and a half over lunch where you can vibe code and share and ideate with each other. And that's going to be happening in the Pacific Concourse. We also have a wellness community activity, a gentle yoga break that'll be happening in the wellness room the second half of lunch. Our community 5K is back for those of you who like to run in the morning. It happens at 7 a.m. We had a great turnout last year. I think the people who were hosting, I think we expected like 5 people to come, and I think we ended up being around 20. So if you're into running and just want to check out a little bit of San Francisco, that's happening again. We'll have mapping a new understanding of trust and safety, which is going to be an interactive installation in the community lounge. Check that out. A couple of members of the TSF team are doing a trivia on trust and safety during lunch on Monday. Also a great low pressure way to meet new people. I think some of these are really great for anyone who's a little more introverted and doesn't like to have the focus be on networking, but around a shared activity. Not listed on here. In the community lounge, we do have a couple puzzles set up. So if you want to kind of check out and do a puzzle, but also maybe meet someone, that's a great opportunity. To date, we have not had a puzzle completed at TrustCon, and I would love to see that happen this year, particularly the Where's Waldo puzzle, because I'm deeply invested in that getting finished, and it has not happened yet. So if you're a puzzle person, please finish a puzzle. And then the other thing happening for connecting with other attendees is our lunch meetups, and those will be happening on Monday and Tuesday. There's quite a few different ones and a little something for everyone. I think there's a few missing from this list because I ran out of space, but definitely check these out on the different days. This is just show up. There will be indicators on the table. We'll also have volunteers that can show you where they are in the atrium for lunch. These are also on the agenda and in the community hub. So if you want to connect with anyone over specific shared interests, whether it's at work or outside of work, there's a lot of really great opportunities there. And if you have questions about any of these, as I said, I'm your camp counselor. So if you see me, you can ask me questions and I will help you out. But excited to have a little something for everyone. And also just want to give a shout out to the wellness room because it is my favorite place at the conference. And again, for those introverts out there who maybe aren't crazy about lots of people all the time or just need the reset of quiet, it is my favorite place. There's beautiful windows and chairs, and you just check out and stare at the sky. It's lovely. Highly recommend. Okay, I'll stop talking.
Cal Fang, over to you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Cal Fang. So we weren't kidding. There is a lot happening. There's more stuff happening. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Birds of a Feather. So if you've gone to TrustCon, you know what these are. If you haven't, Birds of a Feather are networking events that are hosted by sponsors. And so we'll have them starting Sunday. We have one Sunday evening. I think we've got one on Monday, and then the majority of them are on Tuesday. We even have a Tuesday breakfast as the Birds of a Feather. These are not up yet. I'm still finalizing the Birds of a Feather with our sponsors, but expect them to be on the website by Monday. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to send an email out to everyone who's registered for TrustCon with an email of all the Birds of a Feather that we have and with registration signups for them. The thing to note about signing up for a Birds of a Feather is that you're signing up with the host, not with us. And so that way they know that you're coming. They will be able to plan their event because they know who's coming and all of that. Some advice around signing up for Birds of a Feather. So as I said, we have quite a bit on Tuesday, and then we have I think one on Sunday, one on Monday. Don't sign up for everything because these events are limited. And so if you sign up for it, they will expect you to come. And so if you're not going, or if you're just not sure if you're not going, don't sign up. Only sign up for events that you're definitely sure you're going to go. If you do sign up and you decide that you're not able to go, let them know, because what they'll do is the majority of them will have wait lists, just like we do wait lists for our workshops and roundtables. I'm recommending that they also do a no-show list so that they can allow other people in because you're not able to go. So
make sure you sign up. Make sure you let people know if you're not able to go. And the other thing to note is that some of these events will have entry requirements. So like they'll require that you wear your badge so that they know that you are a TrustCon attendee. Not all of them have that requirement. So when the Birds of a Feather go online, the description will tell you whether they have any specific requirements in terms of what you need to have when you go. So those are the Birds of a Feather. And then if we go to the next slide, there's way more other stuff happening. We will have exhibitors in the Grand Ballroom foyer on Monday and Tuesday. They'll be there all day. So come and check out our exhibitors. And then Crystalline alluded this earlier, but the cookies are back. If you have not been to TrustCon, the cookies are incredibly, incredibly popular. And so we will have two sponsors that are hosting our cookie breaks. Yodi's doing it on Monday, Tech Mahindra is doing it on Tuesday. They will be available in the Grand Ballroom foyer during the 2 afternoon breaks. And so come early. We typically run out. But we do have them available during the 2 breaks. So if you missed it during the first break, come back early for the second break. On Monday, we will have specialty cocktails in the in our reception area in the atrium. So if you haven't been, what we do is because there's a lot of you, so we have quite a few bars, and for each of the bars, we will have a specialty or a signature cocktail at each of them, and they are hosted by either a sponsor or by one of our programs, and they are really fun. So come by, have a drink. We will have mocktails available too. So if you don't want a cocktail, you can definitely have a special mocktail along with that. And you can have your own TrustCon flight all throughout the reception. And then on Wednesday, the exhibitors will leave us, but we will have really fun activities on Wednesday. So as Maggie said, or I think Charlotte said at the beginning, this is our 5th TrustCon, and we are so excited to be celebrating our 5th year. So on around noontime in the Grand Ballroom, we're going to have a 5-year celebration. For those of you who have gone to TrustCon all 5 years, and if you work for a company that sponsored TrustCon all 5 years, we have something super special for you. So we'll let you know. Well, you just hold on to that, and we'll let you know what that special something is. But you'll love it. For everyone else, we will have some bunnies that you can come and snuggle at the 5-year celebration, and then. We'll do that. And then after like around 2, we'll open it up to our open house where we'll also have a bunch of other things for you guys to come and enjoy. And then in Market Street Foyer, around that time from 1 to 5, if you are a member, we will have a photographer do complimentary headshots. So we did that last year. It was incredibly popular. So if you do not have a good headshot or yours is old, mine is like 10 years old. So you will not be able to recognize me based on the photo at the beginning of this presentation. So I will be a mystery person. But if you want your photo to look like you, come and get a headshot. It's completely free, and our photographer will take the photo, and then we'll make it available to you afterwards that you can put on LinkedIn and all over.
I have a pro tip, which is if you're doing complimentary headshots on Wednesday, be careful with your birds of a feather on Tuesday because just a general reminder, we still have programming that happens on Wednesday, and there's a lot of really good programming on Wednesday. So have a lot of fun at your birds of a feather, but also don't go too crazy.
But if you do, we have a makeup artist. They'll make you look good.
That's true. We have a makeup artist. That's true. And they do a great job.
Yeah, she'll get you all jazzed up, and then you'll get your photo taken.
And you did hear correctly that there are going to be bunnies this year. So some of you may remember we had a bunny, was it 2 years ago? Or was it, no, yeah, 2 years ago. We're having bunnies again this year. All right. Christy, over to you on March.
I'm back again, this time with clothes. So we have new TrustCon merch this year. Last year we did our first TrustCon merch. This year we've got a new design here for the cookies, which who isn't? We also have our 5-year anniversary tee, and the dumpster mug was very popular last year, and I think is our most selling again this year. So all this stuff is available on the merch store. One note that today, if you want to get it in time for TrustCon, guaranteed, today is the last day to order it. You also knew this year we are shipping to the venue for anyone who's international or just wants to have it there when they arrive, you can ship it to the venue, but you have to order by today. We will at TrustCon have some samples if you just want to get a feel for the fabric. I know people are particular about that, and you can also get an idea of the sizing. So if you want to check things out before you buy, that will also be at TrustCon. We are also, which is not on this slide, going to have some limited edition items that will be 100 to 200 things that once they're out, they're out. So keep an eye out for that. And if you're getting there on Monday, you got to get the limited time, limited quantity items. So keep an eye out for that as well.
And if you're new to TrustCon, we have cookies every year that are very popular. So hence the cookie merch. And you'll understand once you try a cookie.
Yes, last year the server who was bringing them out didn't even get them to the table before people started grabbing them. And I also heard from someone that there was a whole like group chat of former Meta employees that were all talking about the cookies and saving cookies for each other. So it's a thing. Get a cookie too and wear your shirt. Who knows?
Do mugs come with cookies? Oh, is that, I think the question is if there's a design. Oh, no. Do mugs come with cookies? No, I don't know.
I feel like that might be a joke
Maybe
question.
it's a joke question, or maybe you're wondering, maybe it's a hopeful question. The
Yeah,
mugs
I
and the
mean,
cookies are separate things. So you can
yeah,
buy
maybe in a
a
future
mug and
year
get a
we'll have a
cookie.
mug full of cookies. It was a joke. Okay. I read it as a joke. Text
Okay.
communication, always a guessing game.
Perfect. Okay. Last but not least, do you need help while you're at the conference? So right now we're trying to answer questions here. We answer questions through our TrustCon alias, through Reg. We have Reg questions. So you are getting a hold of us virtually right now. But as Charlotte mentioned at the very beginning, we have 6 people and we will be running the conference. And so we won't be answering questions over email really at the conference. But there's many places that you can get information at the conference. So we have an info desk staffed with lovely volunteers or staff. We have a speaker support desk that will be next to the info desk in Market Street Foyer. And then look for people with orange lanyards. So all of the TSPA staff are volunteers and the conference support staff will all be wearing orange lanyards. So if you have a question, they're kind of everywhere. People are very helpful. We have people kind of walking around the floors looking for people who have questions. There are room monitors at each door that are happy to answer questions. We have session hosts that are supporting speakers inside of each room. And we have plenty of folks at registration and info desk. So if you need help, if you're like, I need the lactation room, I can see it on this map, but I can't figure out where it is. I'm one of those people. I'm always looking at a map, like I'm not sure which way this goes. And so just feel free to stop by and ask, and people will be very helpful. And that is the best way to get your questions answered on site. With that, we can conference policies. Kaofeng, can you talk through our conference policies? This is last but actually not least. It's very important.
Yes, let's close out with all the rules. So you did say you agreed to this in your registration. We didn't sneak it in. But just a reminder that we do have a code of conduct that we do require everyone to abide by them. Basically, just be nice and don't be mean. There's more to that, but that's the gist of it. But we do have a code of conduct. We also have a security, health, and safety policy. So all of these policies are linked on the trustcon.net website. And so if you go there, you'll be able to read what all of the policies are. But the things that I'll call out, because this does happen every year, and some of it Leah's already covered, but I'll reiterate them. Only attendees with their badges are allowed in the conference space. This is really to ensure that everyone in that space is everyone who we know is going to be there, so that not just random people will come in. We used to have issues with like coffee thieves. Like people will literally like walk out off the street, come into the hotel, grab a cup of coffee and leave. So no coffee thieves allowed because we pay a lot for that coffee.
And we're protecting it for you. You get the coffee. You pay for this conference. It's your coffee.
Yes. So you do need to have your name badge. If you forget your name badge, go grab it or come down to the registration desk and Eileen will print you another one. We also don't allow with badge swapping. And again, that's for, safety reasons. That's to make sure that everyone that is there we know is supposed to be there. So if we do catch you swapping a bag with others, we will need to have a conversation. And don't think that people don't know because I'm the kind of person where I'm like, no one knows who I am. I'm gonna walk around. No one's gonna know. People will know. And unfortunately, you are way more popular than you think you are. Um, if the sessions are full, they are full. So please don't argue with our room monitors and because they're not going to let you in. We're gonna keep that pretty strict. If you've got a friend, if you've got your boss in there, if you've got your coworker in there, and they really want you to be there, just get there early and make sure that you are there in time so you can get to see it. Otherwise, if the chairs are full, the doors is closing and our room monitors will not let you in. And then the other thing around privacy and confidentiality, again, we try very hard to make sure that that your preferences is something that we can indicate to others. And so if you do not want your pictures taken, please go get a red lanyard. As Ilea said, you can always change your mind back and forth. You can be a photo one day because you look great and no photos the next day because you don't look that great. Maybe that Wednesday after all the birds of a feather on Tuesday. Um, and yes, if you are posting people's photos or taking videos of them, filming them, just ask for permission. Like if it's your friend, obviously they know you're taking a photo, but if it's like another attendee and you're taking a photo of them, do ask for consent. But I will caveat that our photographer will be walking around with photos, taking photos, and our videographer will be taking videos and B-roll and everything. And so it is important for you to wear your red lanyard because even if they get your photo or film you with a red lanyard, we will make sure that that's not posted anywhere. So those are the things to flag. And all of these are, and there are more details to all of these on our website.
Okay. Now we are at the Q&A portion of this presentation. So if you have questions that we haven't covered here, feel free to add them to the chat. I know we got one question about dress code. So somebody was curious about whether we have a dress code at TrustCon and or just recommendations on what to wear. We don't have a dress code. We do see people in everything from sweatshirts to suits. I would say it's on the more casual side of, suits is like pretty rare. I would wear something that you feel confident in and that you feel confident meeting other people in. So I would dress nicely, but you don't need to dress extremely formally. Anyone else on the team have I'm not the most fashionista on the team, so I'm curious if anyone else has any advice on dressing for TrustCon. Oh, I have one more thing, which is it gets cold. So if you are like me and you get cold, make sure to bring a sweater or something along those lines to just make sure that you are not freezing. It's not like if you've been to Crimes Against Children, it's not that level of cold. I think it's like a running joke at Crimes Against Children that it is freezing there. So it's not quite like that, but it does get chilly. I think, Leah, you were going to say something maybe?
That was going to be my note. Not only does it get cold within the conference space, but July in San Francisco is also cold. So just a heads up in case if anyone is new to the area, be prepared, check the weather and see of what would be appropriate for you. Just to let you know, Maggie, we did have a question in the chat that says, where can I find a list of the workshops and roundtables I signed up for on the website?
Yes. So if you're curious about if you're looking for the workshops and roundtables that you signed up for on the actual website, you can just search for the name or filter by workshops and roundtables on that day. If your question is, how can I look at the list of workshops and roundtables that I signed up for? You should have gotten a confirmation email for each one. And you can look at your registration on the very last page. There is a summary at the bottom that shows what you're registered for. If you can't find it, feel free to reach out and we can help you out and share back with you. Any other questions? Christy, I have a question for you. If you signed up for workshops and roundtables, or you bookmarked some sessions that you want to go to, and you get an email and in that email it shares what the time is in Google or something. Should you share those should you save those sessions to your calendar?
Oh, what a great question, Maggie. We didn't practice this at all, by the way. This is pure improv. Um, I highly recommend, this is speaking both as someone who is running this conference, but also as someone who has made this mistake at other conferences. Um, Adding to your Google Calendar might be helpful for you, but if something changes, actually, this happened to me at the first TrustCon I went to when I didn't work here. Things change, and the app has the most up-to-date information. So if you add it to your Google Calendar and that speaker had to drop, or maybe someone missed their flight and they had to switch to another day, you're going to show up and be like, this isn't the session I wanted. So using your schedule in the app is incredibly important because it has all of the most up-to-date information, and adding it to your calendar will become out of date really quickly. We don't have a lot of last minute changes, but if there are last minute changes, relying on your Google Calendar is not going to set you up for success. So grateful.
The other thing I would just note is sometimes when you get an email, I know this happens with Gmail, but I'm not sure about other email clients. It will try to guess like the length of the session, or will try to guess information about
Oh,
it
yes.
based on, the email that you're getting. And I have found that number one, that information is often not really correct. And number two, it's just not doesn't have like all the right information. So just be cautious. Sometimes your email is like trying to do this work for you, and it doesn't always guess correctly. Any other questions? We have about 7 more minutes to answer any questions that anyone might have. I'm not seeing any come through.
Trying to think of questions we usually get asked.
I know. We tried to cover as many questions as possible throughout this presentation. So
If you're very particular about your coffee and you only want artisanal coffee, there's quite a few spots within walking distance. There's a Phil's connected to the building, if that's your vibe. There's a Blue Bottle in the Ferry building. If you want any like snacks or treats, again, the Ferry building is your best friend. There's also a little like grab and go spot in the hotel room in the atrium level. Some people like a lot of snacks. There's options there. There's also, oh, this is important. There's also refillable water things on every floor of the hotel. If you're someone who has a support and safety water bottle, that's something that's available to you.
I'll talk quickly about, and I didn't mention it earlier, was accessibility. So we will have closed captioning during our plenary sessions throughout Monday through Wednesday during the plenary. If you require any additional accessibility requirements, I'll reach out to you. I'll be checking the registration shortly, and that includes your meals as well. So if you require a kosher or halal meal, I'll reach out to you via email with instructions.
I feel
One
like it's
question we sometimes get is if you're traveling with a group and some people at your company maybe attend, in the area or staying at the hotel or something, but aren't attending the conference, where can they be? So there are common spaces at the hotel, like the lobby there's a restaurant, and those are all kind of open to non-conference folks. So they can be in those common spaces. They just can't be in the conference area. So once you get into the conference area, we need everybody to be badged for the reasons that Kathleen and Ilea have already covered. So those are the spaces that they're not able to be, but they can be in like the lobby and there's the surrounding areas.
Another quick note is about your luggage on Wednesday. So if you are checking out of the hotel or checking out of your hotel on Wednesday, we are going to figure out an area for luggage to keep. It won't be supervised, and it will probably be in our Pacific Concourse area. But we will share information if you have luggage that you need to store for the day. And the hotel will only store your luggage if you're staying at the hotel for liability reasons.
All right. Do we have any final questions? Going once, going twice. Okay. This has been lovely. Thank you for asking all of these great questions. Whenever I'm always happy to see the people show up to these sessions because I know you're going to be extra prepared to be at TrustCon. So thanks so much for listening. Thanks for meeting the team. Really excited to see you at TrustCon. And if you think of any questions that you weren't able to ask during this session, please email us trustcon@tspa.org, or there's lots of FAQs and information on the website as well. And we're really excited to host you, whether you are new or returning. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.